Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well. Over the last couple of weeks I've done two new style carrier versus carrier battles in sea power and I've quite enjoyed them. First we did the 2020's French carrier group versus 2020's Chinese carrier group, then we did 1990's Russian versus 1990's British and Italian. You guys have asked for a follow-up, a big follow-up, a modern 2020's US Gerald Ford carrier group versus a 2020's Chinese and modern Russian carrier group, so that's what we're doing today. Before we look at the details of today's battle, just a few restrictions I have to explain based on feedback from the previous couple of battles. First, your main complaint is when I used a 2020's Chinese carrier group last time, I didn't use their modern stealth plane, the J-35. Well, there's a good reason for that, and that is I don't have it in sea power yet. It might be released at some point in a week, a year, 2 years or whatever. I don't know if and when it's going to come to sea power, and I don't want to wait forever, so I'm just getting on with the battles as they are. I'll do my best to balance the fact that we're lacking a stealth fighter on the Chinese side. The next biggest complaint from you guys was that on the previous Chinese battle we didn't use the Chinese Type 055 destroyer/cruiser and its YJ-20 anti-ship ballistic missile. Again, there's a very good reason. We do have it in sea power, but what we do not have is the primary defense against it. In real life, the US primary defense is going to be the SM-3 missile, designed to intercept ballistic missiles. We don't have that. We don't have it for a good reason, and that is that we have a max ceiling altitude of everything in sea power of 100,000 feet. SM-3, of course, operates above 100,000 feet. So I can't really use the YJ-20 ballistic missile if I don't have the primary thing that's supposed to shoot it down. Next complaint, last time we used the Russian carrier group, you guys said, hey, that's stupid because the Russian Kuznetsov, their only carrier, is being taken out of service and will probably never operate again. Yeah, it is a problem and I don't really have a way of explaining that, viewers. We're just going to have to pretend that this is in the past or in the future or an alternate timeline when they didn't take it out of commission and they did still operate it. Next complaint, viewers, a lot of you said I'm missing an important element, the electronic warfare element, the Growlers on the US side, the J-15Ds I think they're called on the Chinese side. I do have them in sea power on both sides and they do work. The problem is, viewers, they work too well in my opinion. They are just so powerful that you could have literally the entire Russian Navy or old Soviet Navy all in one big group. You could have one American Prowler from the 1970s jamming aircraft who could jam that entire group, render it completely defenseless, and then you could just send a couple of jets in to go and bomb them. For me, it completely ruins the game, and so I've decided I'm never going to use any type of EW in sea power again. Final complaint, in the previous two battles you've said, hey, you've not used AWACS. Again, I do have AWACS in sea power and they do work, but if you play sea power yourself you'll understand why I can't have them in the game. They massively upset any fighter aircraft that are currently airborne on any coalition. Currently there is no fix for it, so I can't use AWACS. It doesn't really matter though, because the sensors on board both coalition of ships today are going to be so powerful they're easily going to see the 300 or so miles between carrier groups, so I'm not too worried about it. And that is my addressing of feedback. On to today's battle. So we are just south of Japan here. The blues, the American carrier group, is here. 300 miles to the west are the Chinese and Russian carrier group. Let's go through the units. I've allowed on each side 4 escort destroyers, no more and no less. So the Americans have, of course, a Gerald Ford supercarrier. On board will be 24 F-18E Super Hornets, 12 F-18F Super Hornets and 24 F-35C Lightning IIs. The escorts will be in a semicircle facing the threat direction and they will all be Arleigh Burke Flight 3s. They'll be equipped with 30 SM-2, 24 SM-6, 16 ESSM, 32 anti-ship harpoons and their other usual low-range weapons. The Ford has her own weapons as well. She has ESSM times 48. She has several launchers of CRAM, 84 missiles in total, and some Seawares. On to the Reds. Let's start with the Chinese. They're all in one group today. We have Type 003 Fujian, their latest carrier, going on super carrier. Her own defense is 168 HQ-10 low-range missiles. and a splattering of Sea Whiz. Her air wing today, I'm not modelling helicopters, and I've told you why I can't model AWACS, is going to be 50 J-15s. We'll look at them in more detail later. We have Kuznetsov that did not get taken out of commission here with loads of defence, 288 of those missiles, nearly 400 of those missiles, some offensive missiles which I didn't even think about and worries me now, but we'll worry about that as we go further on, and some low range stuff. In terms of their defence, I wasn't really sure what to put, so I've put just Chinese destroyers. We've got 052D there, and there they have HQ-10 times 48 and HQ-9B times 48 as defence, and I've just realised they've got supersonic offensive missiles as well, which may come into play, I don't know, at 300 miles. Let's just see what happens. In fact, I know the Tomahawks are not going to be able to fire because they're out of range, so that's a bit of a problem. Never mind. 48 HQ-9Bs on 2 other ships which are Type 052Cs there and there in a semicircle, otherwise set up the same. They've got some missiles as well, 8 YJ-62 anti-ship missiles and some low-range weapons. Otherwise, for this new type of battle, I've pretty much come to perfect it over the last few weeks or few months. The way I have to do it is split it into 3. First, we have to do planning. This is where we decide which aircraft are going to take off from which carriers with which loadout and do which job. The second stage is we have to do the actual takeoffs. We have to get all these aircraft airborne, organise them and get them into a battle fighting condition, which takes bloody ages, by the way, and then we go and try and do the battle. So let's start with, I actually don't know who to start with today. I think I'm going to start with the red guys and then react to the red guys with the blue guys. Let's see what happens. I play both sides, but don't worry, I will do everything equally or as equally as I can. So Fujian, she has 50 J-15s. And Kuznetsov has 20... sorry, I forgot to show you. Kuznetsov has, 20 Su-33s. What I usually do on these battles is put a rule in saying 50% have to be anti-ship, 50% have to be air-to-air. But because today is going to be such a massive battle, I think we can change that a bit. I think about a third will be anti-ship, about 2/3 on both sides will be air-to-air. I think that will work out better. Too many anti-ship is just going to ruin it. So I think the easiest way for me to do it is to have the Russians have all of their guys as the anti-shippers. It's going to be better for me to organise it like that. So I'm going to go 20 Su-33s. I'm going to see what they can have. They can have 1 anti-ship loadout. It is a P-270 Sunburn supersonic anti-ship missile. It's actually a very good missile. We've used it before with good effect. That's probably the right thing to do, isn't it? I'm going to send out all 20 and I'm going to launch them. Next, we're going to go to the Fujian, the Chinese carrier. These guys are going to be air-to-air. Let's see what they've got. So, 50 of them, and they can have either air-to-air with no PL-15s or air-to-air intercept with PL-15s. So, I want that one. 4 PL-15s, 4 PL-10s, 2 PL-12s. That's the best loadout, obviously. They do have anti-ship loadout as well, but I think I'm doing the right thing here. They'll just have subsonic missiles for anti-shipping. So, air-to-air intercept with the long-range missiles. That's the best they're going to get. 50, launch. Okay, that's 50 of those going up. End of the planning phase will be a reaction from America. So let's have a look at what we've got. We've got F-35s and we've got Hornet Fs and Hornet Es. I think, viewers, in the spirit of fairness, I don't think we should use the F-35s as air-to-air. I think it's just going to be just too powerful and unbalanced for the reasons that we said. So I think we should use them as anti-ship. And so let's see what they've got. They've got chugga, anti-ship. They've got Naval Strike Missile, LRASM, or LRASM lots. I think we should go LRASM lots. So 24 F-35Cs, each with 6 AGM-158C LRASMs. Let's do that. All 24. And do I want them out first? I actually don't want them out first. I want to get the Hornets out first. Let's change of plan. Let's send the Fs out first as air-to-air. They can have either air-to-air AMRAAMs or air-to-air AMRAAMs or air-to-air AMRAAMs and AIM-174B, super long-range missile. Obviously, I want that, super long-range missile. So I'm going to have 12. Launch. F-18Es can have only one loadout, air-to-air, which is just AMRAAMs, which is fine. Modern version of the AMRAAM they're going to use, they'll take that. All 24 go. F-35, as we agreed, are going to have the 6 LRASMs per go. That's the best I'm going to get with them. Hopefully they'll have enough fuel with that loadout. All 24 and go. And that's it. That's the planning phase over, viewers. We've now got to do the air operations and get everything top side of our flat tops. So, warning, viewers, I did a little bit of testing just to make sure that the various planes work. The first stage of this mission is going to be really laggy because we're going to have like nearly 100, no, more than 100, about 100 20 planes airborne at once. Sea Power is not designed for that, so we're going to abuse the game. Don't worry, as things go on, it will get better and better. So we have first the Super Hornet Fs coming up, which will have AIM-174Bs, SM-6 missiles, some AMRAAMs somewhere there, and some modern Sidewinders. F-35s will go up later. Let's get them airborne. Next comes the logistics operation, viewers. A really boring bit for me, but really important I get it right. Over here we have Fujian. Her J-15s are going up. I assume they're J-15Bs, but I'm not sure. We'll just have to see. They are going to have PL-15, PL-12, and PL-10. Up they go. Let's go and have a look at the Russians. They have a similar aircraft, an older aircraft. An early 1990s, late 1980s Su-33, and it's going to be purely a mule for carrying that massive anti-ship missile that I'm struggling to see at the moment. That one there, the Mosquit, or the Sunburn, capable of nearly 3 times the speed of sound, really dangerous missile, and off they go. We are, by the way, 2300 hours Zulu. Now the challenge is getting everyone organised. As I said, this is a bit boring, viewers, but I'll just show you how I do it. So I need to get this dude up here. Ping. I've got these flights up so far. What I'm going to do is rename them. Rename formation. Let's call him, just simplify, F-18 F-1. And I'm going to do all of them like that, because otherwise this is going to be literally impossible. F-18 F-2. And go. This guy here is going to be rename 18F. All riveting stuff, I know, viewers. Really riveting stuff. Okay, I need to start getting them into position. So F18F1, let's put him there. And let's put him at cruise speed. And let's put him at 43,000 feet. You guys, that is the next one. Let's put him down here equivalently. Let's put him at 43,000 feet at cruise. These guys aren't even airborne yet, but let's get them sort of just in front of the carrier there. Let's get him at 43,000 feet, and they're all MCOM and their weapons tight. That's all good. I've got to start doing the reds as well now, which is always really interesting. But I don't need to rename these guys at least. So I've got this guy here, flanker. Yeah, that's man 1. So I'm pretty much going to do the same thing. I'm going to get him weapons free. He can stay weapons free. He's MCOM. That's fine. Let's get him roughly to match where we had the Americans go up, so something like that there. Let's get him 37,000 feet, get him at his cruise speed, let's get him at that. The anti-ship, I don't want them active at all for the moment, but I do have to take them off the carrier. It's a restriction I have. So for the anti-ship, what I'm going to do is send them about 100 miles behind their carriers, and I'm going to keep them at low level. It just keeps them out of any trouble for the time being. I don't want them getting hit by stray missiles, I don't want them going into combat, stuff like that. Alright, first E's are coming out, I need to rename them. This is going to go on for a while, viewers, so I'll probably just turn the camera off now and bring it back when I've got everything sorted and I'm ready to go. I don't want to rush either, I want to get it right. Welcome back, viewers. It is just before 2400 hours. We've been here for nearly an hour. I've painstakingly got every single flight set up. They're all behaving, they're not attacking each other, all numbered, named, everything's in position. The anti-ship flights are in position, and I'm pretty much ready to go. I believe I should probably do it before something goes wrong, so I'm going to pause. I'll show you how I initiate the fight. So if we start with the Russians, we have to do the same on both sides. Let's just call them red guys. I have to go to each flight. I have to grab the team leader. Sorry about the sounds. I have to move him towards the blues and make sure he's weapons free, and he is. Turn his radar on, and then I need to do the same for the blue flight. So let's get these guys here. I need to go that way. I need to go weapons free, do some more blue. I need to go that way. I need to go weapons free, do some more reds. And you can see where this is going, viewers. More boring clicks. I'm going to go that guy there. I'm going to send him over there. I'm going to turn his radar's already on, make him weapons free. This is going to take a while. Again, I'll report back in a second when I've done it. Okay, that should be the last one. Probably a good idea just to click through some random flights to make sure I've done it right. So weapons free, 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 weapons free. F-35s are not weapons free, that's good. Check the Chinese. They are attacking. Chinese attacking. Chinese attacking. Chinese attacking. Chinese attacking. Chinese attacking. Alright. Seems to be working. We are just about to hit 2400 hours. They're 300 miles apart. Let's have a quick look at their weapons, shall we? So, Chinese, their biggest weapon is going to be PL-15 today. It has a max speed of about Mach 4. It has a range of just over 100 nautical miles. In terms of the Americans, they've got this, the AIM-174B, has a range of 175 nautical miles, so much more higher range, 4 times the speed of sound. The E models don't have that. They have AMRAAM with a range of 65 miles, so it's probably roughly going to equal itself out. Not much is going to happen until we get in range, so I'm going to try and speed it up. Viewers, it's going to be very laggy until, you know, enough planes have gone down, so just bear with it until we've got enough planes gone down and it will speed up to nice frames again. Good news is everything appears to be working. All 24 plus 12, so all 36 Hornets are attacking nicely. They appear to spread their attack out, which is good. In terms of the J-15s, as far as I can tell, all 50 are attacking, and they seem to have spread their attack out as well, so all seems to be working thus far. Oh, first missile out already. Wow, okay, here we go. Let's try and measure what distance that was at and make sure it's fair. So from you to you, yep, 170 nautical miles. AIM-1's, where has it gone? AIM-174's, look at that, to space. The beauty of this, I mean, this is what this missile is for, controlling the Pacific from Chinese assets at very long ranges, where an AMRAAM just wouldn't be as suitable or as effective. Look at that. That said, in real life, you can't just throw these about. They have to be very responsibly used. You struggle to get rules of engagement, go ahead to launch a long-range active radar homing missile in real life because they're so dangerous. They're fired over such long distances that by the time they actually get to where their assailant is, their assailant could have landed. These things can take 10 minutes to get to their, 200 miles. By which time, the hostile may have landed or gone out of the ability to be hit or seen. A 747 may have taken off and replaced it, and these missiles would love nothing more than to track a lovely big Boeing. So great, but they're more of a deterrent than an actual weapon, if that kind of makes sense. I guess like a nuclear deterrent. I don't see any PL-15s out yet. Obviously, this is going to be complete chaos, but how cool chaos is it, right? Missiles flying over the top at 99,000 feet. As I said, nothing can go higher than 100,000 feet in DCS, in sea power at the moment. That will be changed, I believe, to 1,000,000 feet, where we're going to have proper ballistic arcs, which will be really useful. Distance is still simply too big for PL-15. AIM-174 halfway across the battlefield. I love it how you can see space up there. Hello, I am space. I haven't made any predictions. Who's going to win this, viewers? I think it's absolutely pointless trying to make a prediction. I mean, the Hornet Fs, there's 12 Hornet Fs, each have 4 AIM-174s, so that is 48. They have 48 of these missiles. Potentially, they could wipe out all the J-15s on their own without even involving the E models, but, that's in a perfect world. That never happens, obviously. That would require perfect targeting, perfect hitting, no evasion, blah, blah, blah. Big sticks, as the Navy calls them, are still 100,000 feet. They're at 2,100 knots, about 3.5 times the speed of sound, about 3 times the speed of sound, maybe. In real life, they would be slower than that. In reality, they go up at Mach 4, and then they cruise down and get slower and slower and slower until they're about Mach 1, but there are probably limitations of what they can model in sea power. So it'll do for today, and it'll be the same on both sides. Still no PL-15s, which worries me a little bit. I mean, they look to be targeting correctly, so I guess just not in range yet. And they're doing something, look. They keep changing. Look, you see there, he keeps changing who he's aiming at. So he needs to get his friggin' act together and shoot his missiles. Well, he's left it a bit late. Yes, he has fired. They are firing, look. They just had to get within range of 100 miles or whatever. I think he's actually trying to shoot the AIM-174 down. He is trying to shoot the AIM-174 down, and it has missed. Well, that's an interesting use of the PL-15, but I can't control it. And that's our first J-15 down. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys are all trying to shoot down the AIM-174s. J-15 down. J-15 down. J-15 down. There's going to be a lot of J-15s down as these 174s come in. Trying to see what I can. More coming in here. Little to no effect of the PL-15 so far. Kind of a China problem. Again, it looks like they're trying to shoot these missiles down. I mean, why not? You probably could in real life. In real life, they wouldn't be going 2,000 knots. They'd probably be going more like 1,200 knots, I'd imagine. You could probably shoot that down. Attempted evasion. And no good, sir. This dude here. Okay, half a dozen J-15s down. Good start for the Americans. Lots more missiles still coming. Oh, low down here as well. More big sticks here. We are just dinged on midnight. No threat to the Americans yet, although PL-15s are slowly working their way towards them. Huge advantage to the American big sticks. If you want to know how many Americans are shot down, you can look at this board up on the left here. None are shot down so far of the original 36, so that's good news. We can't tell how many Chinese are shot down, but you can get a good idea by looking, right? These lot were sent all the way back here. I'm not sure if they've lost track. They've lost track by the looks of it. So be it. Okay, PL-15's now arriving in the American ranks, and they appear to be tracking, so they were shot well and correctly, so that's good. Bit of a relief. Jamming going on. There will be jamming on both sides, but it's all automatic. I don't have to do anything. These guys are getting chased. Look at that whole flight of J-15s getting chased. Get some, you mothers. Chaff and flare. Look, they're all going for one guy. That's an inefficiency. Look, that could happen in real life. Yeah, he's really dead. Really dead. Scope of things. Look, there's that carrier group. There's that carrier group. The fight is now right in the middle of 100 miles. And 100 miles is a lot, but in a modern fight, it's pretty much a dogfight. Amazingly, no Super Hornets lost, which literally is amazing. Jamming, all the Super Hornets jamming. Okay, we may see our first loss now. I said at this point, viewers, all skill levels of ships and aircraft are all set to veteran. Everyone is set the same, as I always do. We have an American down. Did he die? We have an American down. First American down. You're going to need to do some more of that. I mean, it's all getting pretty. They're really bumping uglies now, aren't they? Still big sticks in the air. We've got AMRAAMs in the air as well, so some people are within 60 odd miles. More PL-15s coming in. No idea if they're tracking. They may be. Oh, bunch of big sticks all fired together here doing something. Pretty disappointing on the PL-15s so far. Let's see what this is doing. It's going to track. It's going to be defeated. We'll see. Countermeasures. Jamming. And... oh, look at that last minute. To see how it changed target. That's cheat. It cannot actually do that in real life, viewers. It will go for the one that it locked onto initially. This one's tracking. Missed. This one's going backwards. Wow. That's an interesting missile. We've lost one from that flight, one from that flight, one from that flight, one from that flight. Absolute minor losses to huge Chinese losses, so we're still doing 100% winning. But we're not... oh, Jesus, look at all those AMRAAMs. Look at those AMRAAMs. Absolute chaos, viewers. Woo! Again, bit of a frame, a slideshow, viewers, but it will clear itself up, obviously, as more planes are shot down. We just have to put up with it for the time being. I'm just happy it's working so far. With 100 plus planes in the sky and probably 500 missiles in the sky. Terrible use of AIM-174 there, all fired at one target. I mean, he's very, very dead, but it's just a waste of missiles. Again, it could happen in real life like that, because the missiles will go for what they want to go for in a terminal phase. This one's turning around and I don't know what it's doing. That's an interesting missile. I think it may be a little bit corrupted. Yes, it is corrupted. What do we got going on over here? We have PL-15 heading in. Oh, one flight's almost wiped out. That flight's down to half strength. That flight's almost wiped out. We're starting to lose men now. I mean, people. Starting to lose good people, viewers. That is the overview for what it's worth, which is absolutely nothing. I'd say probably more blue missiles in the air, so probably advantage blue still. Hornet's really taking a licking now. A lot of them are cold, running away, look. Got a little bit too close. This is chasing, look. It's chasing them down, look. Flanker shot down. Flanker shot down. Lots of flankers shot down. I like that. About to be another one. Flanker shot down. Once these missiles are all explode. He's being chased by all the missiles. And I quote, "By everything button." Every missile is chasing him, look. That's an interesting use of missiles. Yeah, don't see that every day. More missiles going in there. I mean, this must be the record shortest time this amount of planes have been shot down. I still don't know how many have been shot down, but I see lots of black. Black. I see black, 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 black. Hornets are really starting to suffer now. Getting caught up by these missiles. Boom. Oh, wow, look how many Hornets are left. That is 5 Fs. And 3 E's, that's all that's left. That worries me an awful lot. So how many flankers are there? I mean, there's no way of diagnosing that. It's just, that's what happened. Chase him, chase him, chase him. Ah, run out of speed, don't run out of speed. God damn it. Sons of bitches. Yeah! Take you down. Or as Baby would say, I blow you all away. My baby's just learned to say damn it. It's very frustrating, viewers. He overheard me when I dropped something heavy on my foot. And I can't stop him saying it now. Help me. What am I supposed to do? Shoot him down. Come on, look. It's right next to him. Oh, God. Oh, come on. What is that? Oh, God. We've only got one Hornet left. Too many missiles came in. Too many missiles came in. It appears, viewers, that the blob has won. Again. Which is really annoying. Run. Run! Right, this guy's got to beat the world's... yeah. Well, we've still got plenty of missiles in the air, and they're all self-guiding. Fox 3, so good shot. Could everyone have been dead? Is that what could... We've never seen this before, viewers. We've never seen where everyone died. Could there be so many missiles fired that they're all just chasing around now? I think we might have actually seen that. In my 9 years, I've never seen that, and we'll probably never see it again. But we've just seen so much ordnance fired, basically every missile, of which there must have been 600, I don't know. Everyone's dead on both sides. And savour that moment, because, like I said, we're never going to see that again. I think we've discovered too much power. That was absolutely brutal. Right. Let's start thinking about the anti-ship. What usually happens is some remain. One wins, and the other side, who's not dead, if I pause now, remains, and they defend their carrier group from the anti-shippers. That's the benefit of winning the air-to-air. But in this case, everyone killed everyone. I don't know what to say, but okay, so it's literally anti-ship against anti-ship now, who are just going to clearly avoid each other. Last missile going down. Well, we've got a job to do, so minimise that. Let's get the F-35s on the go first. I've put them all into one big group and just call them F-35s, so it's just easier for me. They're cruising down here. Do they have enough fuel? Yes, they do. So if I say go there, there and there, make an attack. I've got to do the Russians now. You guys go, I guess the opposite, right? I mean, they're not going to run into each other on purpose, are they? So they go up there and then go maybe through there. Let's have a look at their weapons. So these guys are P-270 with a range of 130 nautical miles. So let's draw their range ring so they know what to do. 135 nautical miles is about there. Let's check the American. Their missile is the LRASM with a range of 160 nautical miles. There, 160. It's pretty easy for me at this point, right? Because usually I'd have to worry about how the surviving air-to-air guys are going to intercept, what they're going to do with their fuel, blah, blah, blah. I guess all we literally do is just fast forward now and see what happens. Just make sure the fuel is okay. So these guys have loads of fuel. These guys have loads of fuel. So, speeding up, times 10. Quick look at the ships. Arleigh Burkes are weapons tight, that's fine. And they're out of range to fire their anti-ships, so that won't be happening. Ford. It's fine. Check the Chinese, make sure everything's good. Radars are on, weapons free, blah, 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 blah. That's all set up fine. So now we're in a weird position where we've got 24 F-35s heading in. With LRASM, we've got 20 Su-33s with their Sunburn missiles. Interestingly, no ships have shot their anti-ship missiles yet. The Americans are out of range. The Chinese, I think, are in range, but they haven't actually been able to sight the American ships yet, so there's not much, I guess, they can do at the moment. We are 15 minutes past midnight. One thing I have to think about is that the anti-ship missiles are pretty stupid in this game, and they won't rise above terrain. So I need to make sure I aim where there's no terrain in the shot. 25 minutes past midnight. Right, slow down. F-35s. Loads of fuel, so we can take some time to make sure we get their missiles through that area there. So let's let them get there. These guys, loads of fuel as well. So let's see. They go in here. So if I put them here, just inside their 135, and then I give them another steer point, say there, aiming towards the carrier group. That will hopefully make sure they bypass those hills. They're low, so they're not going to get shot at, hopefully. Right, here they go. On their final attack. Slow that down, adjust that slightly. Change the vector so they don't stop. Let's go along there. Double check them, they all look good. Right, we are 32 minutes past midnight. That's 92 minutes the battle has lasted so far. And I'm pausing now, and now I need to give the fire orders for everyone to fire. So, stand by as I get that done. So, I've done the Russians first. I just want to make sure that they're going to fire The Americans aren't quite in their firing position yet anyway. That's it, missiles away. They're all firing. That's great. Time on target. That's the best they can possibly do. Well done, boys. Turning away. A little bit laggy. So that's 20 supersonic sunburns on their way. Alright. Just going to have a look at the Americans. I think they're safe to fire through that gap there, so let's go and try and do it. What's this? Pause. Oh dear! The missiles have been launched. Oh dear. P-700's out. Lots of P-700's out. They've got sighting of the carrier, that's what's happened. All the P-700's out. All the YJ-18's out. Everything there is supersonic. These guys Mark 1.5. These guys Mark 3. Best pretend we didn't see that, viewers. Back to F-35. Let's just do our job. So, I just need to pause for this. So, we've got... Oh, God, how many have we got? We've got 6 times 24 is 140, question mark? 140. And there are 2 carriers, and we want to split. So, 70 on each, right? So, if I go here... 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Is that going to work? Yes, it is! Super cap, best cap, 100%. Right. 140 missiles being fired. This is really going to slow the server down. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's going to die. So, have fun with that. Well, how about that for a view? You don't see that every day, do you? Laggy as hell. I mean, it was always going to be a laggy battle, viewers. You've asked for, you know, well over 100 planes, each carrying up to 12 missiles each. I mean, look at that. Absolutely stunning. Kudos to Sea Power. It's not put a foot wrong so far, so well done. The problem we've got now, viewers, is the massive amount of missiles in the air. You've got 140 there. You've got, I don't know, 50 there. 24, can't even find them there. You know what we can do? We can ask everyone to RTB. It's one thing I can... Oh, just a bunch of missiles gone out to intercept those missiles. I'll worry about that in a minute. You've probably got 300 missiles in the air at the moment, so it's going to be ridiculously laggy. What we can do is at least get the aircraft. I don't need to, you know, to save a bit of memory, viewers, what I'm going to do, there's no point modelling these anti-shippers anymore. I'm just going to delete them, because they were just RTB in real life, and I'm need to save some memory at the moment, so stand by. Okay, 44 planes removed. Let's hope that helps. Jesus, that was loud. That was really loud. Right, LRASMs that don't look anything like LRASMs on their way. Sunburns that look just like sunburns on their way. Oh, what's this lot? Okay, I don't know what that is. We've had SM6 fired at something. Slightly worried that they've wasted all their SM6s, but okay. The Sunburns have made the mistake of flying at 30,000 feet and being quite big radar cross-section. So the guys are firing SM2s at them. It looks like these missiles have been detected here, and SM6s are on their way to shoot them down, which is fine. When these things here were developed, there was no such thing as an SM6, so they didn't have to worry about that, but here we go. Oh, we're going to get interceptions. I wasn't expecting this to happen, to be honest, but whatever works. We have really worked the computer today, viewers. We need a bigger computer. We need a big, powerful one. That's what we need, don't we? That said, we'll probably never do a battle this big again, so... I mean, they're very good missiles, these modern block SM2s, so... I see no reason why they couldn't make the intercept. And they can. Alright. I'm not sure how these caused so much damage against the French, then. Why didn't the French shoot them down? I don't know. You guys will have to figure that out for me. Either way... No, I tell you why. When they against the French, they went low, didn't they? Do you remember? They went low. This time they went high. As far as I'm aware, I've got no control of that? Question mark. I'm pretty sure I don't have any control of that. So, I don't know. Just going to have a look at the ammo supply of the Burks. All SM6s are gone. Most SM2s are gone, or a lot of SM2s are gone. Same for all of them. It's all happening over here now. So, P700. I see no reason at all why we shouldn't shoot these down with SM6s. But they do look kind of spaceshipy-like. They do look very Star X-like, don't they? So we now may be in a position where some of these SM6s are using their radar and may even see these. I don't know. We'll have to see. It would be nice if they do, but maybe a bit unlikely. We're going to intercept. SM6s are pretty good missiles. No, they're missing. They are missing. They're all missing. And they've wasted all of their SM6s. That is trade disappoint. IR trade disappoint. Bewingtons. Oh, okay. My disappoint are all gone. No, some got through. Alright, we'll see. Check LRASM. I am a chevron of death. I would love to speed it up, but I can't. These guys appeared, in that case, to be attacking the YJ-18s, and I don't know how they're doing that because they're over the horizon, so some sort of magic. I mean, the SM6 didn't fire against the planes, but they are firing against the missiles. Whatever, we'll see. Alright, coming down from all the distance. The LRASMs are 40 miles away. 26 feet, low observability. Okay. Well, there's something very disappointing, viewers. Now, the LRASM is a subsonic missile. I've never used these before, by the way. Some you guys told me to try using them. And look what I've just seen. They're at 1,500 knots, 2.5 times the speed of sound, even though they're supposed to be a subsonic missile. That is so frustrating for me to see. They set the missile so it goes 2.5 times faster than it actually goes in real life. Oh, viewers. Why do people do stuff like this? Are they that desperate to have their side win? It's obviously very disappointing, viewers, to see something like this happen. I've got no way of running these through to test it. I'm putting out 11 videos per week at the moment. 11. I'm only doing this 3 days a week. I have 2 jobs at the moment, or run 2 businesses, whatever you want to call it. I can't sit and test every single thing. And you come across stuff like this where someone's just said, yeah, I'm bored, I'm just going to cheat. And that's what you see right there, I guess, because this is not a supersonic missile. So I don't know what to tell you. That is how some humans' brains work, I guess. But what can I do? What solution do I have? I just doubted myself for a minute, so I just quickly got Google AI on it. LRASM can go Mach 0.8, 640 knots. So indeed, they are going 2.5 times faster than they're supposed to be. God, talk about ruining our day, viewers. Talk about ruining our damn day. Just because some guy wants to win. If I have more time, I can go check these things. I can actually change them myself, but who's got time for that, to check these things? Well, amazingly, these are getting intercepted. Kudos. Cheaty missiles being cheaty. Oh well, give the Chinese the best chance they can. Make sure everything's turned on. You, sir, turn your radar back on, please. Thank you. Right, what's going on here then? All sorts of things are happening. That has happened. Wow. I was not expecting that. So, a staggering 1 YJ-80 made it through, and a handful of P700s. Well, that's not going to cause the Americans much problem. Americans are firing their missiles back at them. LRASMs, supersonic, hypersonic LRASMs going in. Oh, they're 7 miles and have not been seen. So it appears not only have they been made supersonic, they've been made fully invisible. Okay then. There you go. What do you want to do? Now they can be seen at 1 mile. 1 mile. Right, well that was a weird ending, wasn't it, viewers? So, let's try and figure out what... No, we've still got a little bit of defense to do. We've got our frames per second back for the first time in an hour and a half. And they're all dead. Alright, let's try and work out what happened there. We had some good stuff and we had some bad stuff. As usual, the bad stuff was just down to people. God, people drive me nuts, viewers. So what happened was we did the initial battle. We got everyone set up, painstakingly organised, and we got them to fight. And amazing, I still can't get over it. Everyone died. Then it started getting a little bit silly. The flankers went north here. I reiterate, I've not tried this. I don't have time to, 2 hours just to, many hours it would take to actually test it and debug it properly, right? Anyway, the flankers went up here and they took a shot at the Americans. Everything worked there. That's good. For some reason, I don't understand. Their missiles went high this time rather than low, which opened them up to SM2 firing. And that's all fine. That's all realistic. That would have happened. They would have got shot down if they had to stay high. If they had to stay low, like they did last time we used them, they very possibly would have done damage to the Americans. I can't explain that. I have no control over it. It's just a thing that happened. So they shrugged that off. The Chinese then fired their ship-based missiles. The P-700s rightfully got shot down at long range. They could be seen. The YJ-18s got shot down at low altitude, and I don't know how they were targeted. So, yeah. Would they have got through if they weren't targeted? Would they have got through the Arleigh-Burke defence? You're going to have to make a judgment for yourself. Possibly not. Possibly they need a bit more, but it would have been touch and go, in my opinion. What happened next? The LRASMs were fired. And for reasons I just can't possibly comprehend, the guy set them to go Mark 2.5 instead of Mark 0.8 as per real life. Why a human would do that is just beggars belief, and he ruined the game for us, which is a real shame. It's a real shame. He also decided to set them so that they couldn't be seen with outside of 1 mile, which is just silly and unrealistic. Even if you couldn't detect them with your radar, which you probably could at least 10 miles, your electro-optical systems would see them, and he's turned them so that they can't be seen by electro-optical, so they're actually invisible. Why would a human do that? I don't know. He just wants it to win every time, I suppose. A real shame, and a real disappointment in people. We can draw logical conclusions from that, though, viewers. Would the LRASMs have made it through if they were modelled properly, like we have it in DCS? Yes, they would, obviously. Even if they could be seen at 10 plus miles, even if their heat and their optical could be seen at 10 plus miles, if you fire 160 of them, 140 of them, at that group cannot defend that. I can tell you that. If we do the same in DCS, they would get through. So, as stupid as it looked, they would have got through, and they would have slammed this carrier group. Whether I've got one more test to do, viewers. One more test. Stand by. Welcome back, viewers. As you can probably tell, I wasn't very happy about that. I'm happy that the sunburns could have been intercepted, and they were. I'm happy that the LRASMs would have got through, even if they weren't in super Star Trek, Star Wars, weird, insecure, cheap mode, which they were. They almost certainly would have got through. I'm happy with that. I wasn't happy with the YJ-18s being intercepted at, nearly 300 miles over the horizon. You can't do that. Even if there was an AWACS up there, it couldn't see something that small against the ground. It's just impossible. So, yeah, lots of American cheating going on, and I don't like that. I like fair fights, or as fair as I can make them. So what I'm doing now, I'm rerunning just the YJ-18 part of that battle. I've got some ships here relatively close. They're firing the, 32 YJ-18s that they would have fired, which are going to travel 600 knots and then up to about 1700 knots, about Mark 3. These guys, I'm telling them, I'm not allowing them to cheat. I'm saying you can only defend yourselves when the missiles come over the horizon, when they could see it, okay? So let's see what happens there. Why am I doing this? I just don't like cheating. I do want the Americans to win, but not if you have to cheat to do it. It's just never been interested in that kind of thing. Never been interested in scripting the battles. Right, distance. They are 24 miles. I'm happy that a spy could see that coming over the horizon. So what I'm going to do is get these guys. Say, you lot, air defense orders weapon free. Go nuts, boys. Defend yourselves. Now, this is more likely what it would look like. And once this is done, we can piece together all of the evidence of how that could have gone without the silliness. Still at 600 knots, but don't worry. I've used these in other battles before, and I know that they do work. They do go to 1700 knots within about 10 miles. I don't think it's going to matter, though. The Americans have just got so much firepower going on. 4 Burks. Maybe. Jesus, they really aren't taking any chances, are they? Oh, they're dead. They're all dead. Pause. Alright, that's all I needed to see. Could they defend 32 YJ-18s coming over the horizon about 20 miles? Yeah, it appears they could. They didn't even use their ESSM, but they're active radar homing missiles, so they could have done the job fairly easily. So, America wins. Viewers, I've done it as best I can with the controller that I have over stuff. Sorry for the cheating silly bits, but I hope I've explained around them anyway, and what would have happened if everything was working properly. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as you can, viewers. That's probably the best I'm going to be able to do at Sea Power with the assets that I've access to. I hope that was fun, and bye-bye.